Welcome back to the show. Check out these headlines. Boy, do we have them. Coinbase in ETF custody. The numbers are staggering. BlackRock, Congress getting a facelift. You're going to love it. XRP, $74 on an exchange. Which one? Somebody tell me which one. I'm going to try that. Ripple, Hong Kong dollars, digital dollar. You're going to want that in major banks, ladies and gentlemen. Automated market maker vote. We are so close. It's amazing. And we've got new information in the SEC versus Ripple case about the joint ceiling proposal and XRPTA. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube and digitalperspectives.com or digperspectives.com, excuse me, for exclusive content. Right now, it's $2.53 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 1.6%, which is nice after the last couple days. 63,800 plus for Bitcoin, 3,300 plus for Ethereum. We see 103 billion plus market cap for Tether. XRP still at the number 6 spot after climbing up yesterday. Still sitting at 59 cents, but we'll take it. We'll take it. The market cap at 32 billion plus. We'll keep an eye on it. We're off by 0.1 on the 24, and we're still off by 13.4 on the 7-day, but that's okay. We're going to see some TA today you probably are going to love. So look at this. I'm showing 60 cents here on Fiat Link, so we're going to take it. All right, forget 58 cents on CoinGecko. We're going to go with the 60 on Fiat Link, right? Glass half full, people. Glass 57 cents on the bottom, 61 cents on the top. I'm getting delirious, but I love it. I love crypto and I love this space, no doubt about it. Let's start right here with Coinbase's CEO, Brian Armstrong, says that they hold 90% of the U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF assets. How about that one?
You're talking so much about other use cases for crypto outside of even just being a store of value here, as many people see it as they're entering this asset class, some for the first time with the advent of these spot Bitcoin ETFs. It begs the question, how do you see the future of Coinbase? There are a lot of questions about the future of crypto exchanges in the world where Bitcoin ETFs have gotten so much share. Do you see Coinbase going far and above beyond being simply a crypto exchange?
Yeah, so with the the ETFs that got approved, we've seen a huge influx of capital into the system. About $12 billion of inflow have happened. And when that happens, sometimes people ask us, well, what does that mean for Coinbase? Well, it's actually incredibly positive for Coinbase. We're the custodian for about 90% of the assets in those Bitcoin ETFs, and so we have monetization opportunities there as a custodian, but it didn't cannibalize any of the opportunity in our direct products too, our retail app, our institutional product. We actually saw increased inflows there while we saw $12 billion of inflow into the ETFs. So the ETFs were incredibly positive for the industry. They were a regulatory approval. They unlocked new pools of capital. And Coinbase is going to be not just a place where you store crypto, it's a place where you can actually trade crypto. You can use it increasingly in many different applications all over the world. And it's not just Bitcoin either. We support over 100 different crypto assets. So we want Coinbase to be the most trusted and easiest to use place to store crypto, to trade it, and to actually use it. And we can actually become people's primary financial account in some cases in this new crypto economy.
And we know that is a lot, 90% custody of the money that's come in for spot ETFs for Bitcoin. Come on. That is a staggering amount of money, and it is a staggering percentage to understand that Coinbase is custodying that, but good for them. But I wanted to highlight this as we go to the next piece. Being anti-crypto is political suicide. And that's absolutely true. And we saw that just a couple weeks ago. But I also want to remind people that BlackRock, and I covered this in the first video this morning in greater detail, is tokenizing its asset funds. And they're doing that for a reason, because the change is going to come. Change is here. Change isn't going to come. Change is here. Okay? And change is coming to Capitol Hill. We now have another person in the race for Senate in Ohio now, emerges as a crucial battleground for the crypto industry. Now, that is a huge, huge position, because we know Greg Kidd just recently announced that he's running for office in Nevada's 2nd District. And he is obviously a crypto advocate as well. And the gentleman in Ohio here is named Bernie Moreno. So if you're in Ohio, you're going to want to check him out and give him the support. Over 2 million crypto owners live in Ohio. This is the race to watch, no doubt about it. And along with that, so is John Deaton, our very own. That's right, the field general, right? And this guy here is absolutely destined to take over the seat in the Senate in Massachusetts and serve the good people there. We know what a leader this guy is, and I'm asking all of you, he needs our help, because in order to really defeat Elizabeth Warren, it's going to take money, okay? And he has tons of support out here on social media platforms. But we need to show John Deaton exactly how much we support him today. And I am going to max out my donation for him today to the limit of the law is what I'm going to do to show my support. And I'm asking all of you guys, I know that not everybody can do that, but anything that you can do can help this man get Elizabeth Warren out of that seat and get crypto where we need it to be. Think about it. Nevada, Massachusetts, Ohio. There is a change coming and Congress is getting a facelift. Why not make sure, even if we don't live in Massachusetts, that we get the right person there to make sure that there's no more serving big banks and special interests. John Deaton serves the people, no doubt about it. Trade of XRP on the Atlantis Exchange, which, by the way, is registered with the U.S. Treasury and the United Nations, apparently had trades of XRP at $74. Well, I can tell you, I don't know what's going on here, but shout out to Mr. Muraz here for throwing that out. There is something odd about that platform. And shout out to Michael Branch for sharing this because it opens the conversation, right? I don't know anything about the Atlantis Exchange, and I'm telling everyone right now to be very careful. Every time I've gone to look at what people are saying about Atlantis Exchange, it ends up having something like this: scam, fake, noble crypto exchange site, and it's registered with the U.S. Treasury and the United Nations. So just be very careful. I don't know much more than this, but I just wanted to share it because something feels off. Right? So I just wanted to share that about that. So, and by the way, I mean, you know, if it isn't off, someone let me know it's not off. Show me that you got $74 for your XRP because I want to get it too. Right? We press on. Nevertheless, here's something that's real. We don't have to worry about this because this is not a scam. This is absolutely beautiful. And shout out to Wall Street Bulls for this one here. This is a reminder that XRP based on tangible factors, not on meme coins lacking utility that currently attracting investors. That's exactly right. You want to see what's going on here? Just take a look at this. Fubon Bank, and we know about the Hong Kong digital dollar, the monetary authority, the Hong Kong digital dollar project and the pilot test that's going on there. And you can see here is a layout of how all of this is working with all of these others, Ode Lab and Toco, Hex Trust, and BCW. You can see it all right here. Ripple is smack dab in the middle of all of this, and it's beautiful. This is what I'm interested in, right? Information like this that tells me, okay, I know things can go to 58 cents. We can go all the way down to 53 cents and reach major support line if we need to. But when I look at stuff like this for myself, I'm not trying to sell a used car. Everybody's got to make up their own minds on how they stand on this. But when I see this, I say to myself, again, the log jam to this asset being set loose monetarily is regulatory clarity, legislative clarity, legal clarity. And that's what we're so very close to, that finality in that regard. And we're so very close to that. And I'd hate to see anyone give up before understanding that. At least understand that and then make your mind up. And if you're still done, you're done, right? But if that means anything to you, then it's worth giving it a thought before you move. And so is this. 2 days and counting for the automated market makers to become a permanent amendment to the ledger, which means the integrity of the XRP ledger will forevermore be transformed, and it will be able to do things that it couldn't do today. And how incredible is that? By being able to find the arbitrageurs on the network through the automated algorithm of this thing, and find the widest spreads of arbitrageurs and close those spreads and tighten the slippage, making XRP price even more stable. And don't forget about pathfinding and how pathfinding can source across multiple different networks to settle one transaction if needed. And this has a back-end effect that is super positive to liquidity. So you're not pulling liquidity from one area too much. You can pull the liquidity for a transaction in a balanced fashion that never lets a dry pocket happen. So this is really massive what we're watching take place here. It truly is a transformation, the way I see it, for the integrity of the features of the ledger. No question about it. Think of it. There's things the XRP ledger will be able to do in 2 days from now that it cannot do today. And I want to tell you, and I hope everybody gets a ticket to come to XRP Las Vegas and get a room right on site. It has so many places to eat, so many incredible things to do. Brad Garrett's Comedy Club, you can catch that after the conference one night. I mean, there's so much stuff to do there. It's like living in a city. It's a bad city. It's badass. I mean, I just go say it. It's a badass city with great restaurants, and I think they even have a movie theater in there, I think. But nevertheless, get your ticket to XRP Las Vegas. Stay right on site. Get the discounted price for the room when you click the link on XRP Las Vegas site. And furthermore, find out what's going to be the impact of these XRP ledger amendments from David Schwartz himself, how he feels about these things. It's going to be amazing. It really is going to be amazing. And I can't wait to hear what he says about these things that are happening. And there was one other thing I wanted to share with you about all of this. And it'll come back to me, and when it does, I'll share it with you. But let's look now and turn towards the events that have happened and came out late yesterday and early this morning about SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. Another fresh update emerges. Let's take a look at what's going on here from Jim. Jim Filan, shout out to Jim Filan here. The parties have filed a joint sealing proposal to govern sealing issues related to the upcoming remedies-related briefing to be filed in this case. And I say to you right now, this is joint. So this is the Ripple and SEC agreeing that there will be things that need to be under seal, right? And here's the dates for those. So March 22nd, 2024, the SEC files its opening remedies-related briefing and supporting declarations and exhibits under seal. March 25th, parties meet and confer to identify redactions sought by each side and third parties, if any, to the brief and supporting materials. March 26th, the SEC files a public redacted version of the brief, making only those provisional redactions requested by the parties and third parties, if any, during the meet and confer. The SEC will also file on public docket any supporting exhibits not designated by the SEC, Ripple, or any third party as confidential or highly confidential under the protective order. April 22nd, Ripple files a public redacted version of its opposition brief and supporting declarations and exhibits, if any, only if the materials do not cite or include any material designated by the SEC as confidential or highly confidential. Ripple will also file on the public docket any supporting exhibits not designated by the SEC, Ripple, or any third party is confidential or highly confidential under the protective order. If, however, Ripple's opposition brief and supporting materials cite or include any materials designated by the SEC as confidential or highly confidential, then the brief and materials will be filed under seal on April 22nd. On April 23rd, the parties shall meet and confer to identify redactions sought by each side and third parties. You get the rest of it. And then that would be released to the public after redacted versions are approved by both sides. You get this, right? May 6th, the SEC files its reply brief under seal. May 7th, parties meet and confer to identify redactions sought by each side and third parties, if any, to reply briefs and exhibits. May 8th, the SEC files a public redacted version of the reply brief and any supporting exhibits not designated by either party or any third parties, confidential, highly confidential. You get it. And then May 13th, parties and any third party file omnibus letter motions to seal all materials relating to the remedies-related briefing, including briefs, declarations, and supporting exhibits. Parties and any third parties also file proposed redactions to such materials. March 20th, the parties and any third parties file letter briefs in opposition to omnibus letter motion to seal, and then you have the finished signed document here. So that's where we are right now on this day. We'll see what goes on. I like this. This is originally, will the ass whooping help Ripple case in any way, guys? And Fred Rispoli responds here, specifically, the whooping just goes to the overall bad faith. And this is speaking to the sanctions that were just brought down in the debt box case on SEC. And Fred Rispoli responds here by saying he believes that he knows how Stuart Alderati operates in litigation, and he has a good sense by now that Stuart Alderati is going to make sure the Ripple legal team slip this sanction that's just happened in the debt box case in their briefing that they file. And that would be super fantastic for Judge Torres. Not that she doesn't know, but they'll put it on record. This is really saying it right here, is so spot on from Sean McBride here, a former Rippler. The SEC Gov should not be allowed to take up any new enforcement cases against any business within the cryptocurrency blockchain technology space unless they have approval from an elected congressional oversight committee or they establish clear rules and regulation with input. This makes so much sense to me, and it absolutely is spot on. The SEC, with the sanction that has come down in the debt box case here, has proven that the consistency of the SEC is lies. Think of that. And it's our tax money that's paying for the lies. It's despicable. This here from Bill Morgan says, for all those that thought the SEC succeeding earlier this year in its motion ordering disclosure of Ripple's post-complaint complaint contracts with, it says here, with institutions meant disclosure to the world, it didn't. It meant disclosure to the SEC subject to a protective order, and there's likely a lot of commercially sensitive material Ripple will seek to have redacted, sealed in the SEC brief and reply brief. And that's what I want to touch on right now is that, right? And it's the idea of understanding, you know, that we're not going to see most of this stuff. And this comes back to understanding what I have said since before I even had a YouTube channel. They have pre-allocated with option contracts XRP, and I personally believe that they did that with major countries and governments and central banks around the world because it ain't money unless everybody agrees it's money. And the way you get everybody to agree it's money is to show them that it works, it's not compromised, and that you can have some too. Yeah, that's how it happens. And you know what? They have 1,700 contracts that I'm sure most of those they're going to want to keep under seal, those option contracts, which are really, I believe, lean into pre-allocation. Just like we know that R3 was pre-allocated XRP through an options contract, and they settled under undisclosed terms, right? When they parted ways on that relationship. We know Greg Kidd personally had a option contract. So, you know, there are pre-allocated instances that are already proven. So this is pretty interesting here when I see this and about the sealing, because I believe Ripple is that important, and so is XRP and certainly the ledger. And after we get that logjam broke open, which is legislative, legal, and regulatory clarity, watch out, ladies and gentlemen, because you're going to find out what the financial world thinks of this stuff, and I can't wait. We're going into the Freedom Zone, and we're going in there right now, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to join us in here. You're actually, before we go into the Freedom Zone, I said I was going to show you some TA you're going to love, and I'm going to right now. It's right here, color code $1.40. You know we can go down. We've been to 57, 58 cents. We can even go to 53 cents even. We know that from Dark Defender and Agrag Crypto, but they're telling us right here, the color code $1.40, it's all here, ladies and gentlemen. You know what's interesting about all of this? All we have to do is watch it. Nothing we can do to personally affect the price, right? So all we have to do is be patient and watch it. The greatest skill of any investor is patience. The second greatest skill is doing your own research. Trust but verify everything, including me. All right, now we're going into the Freedom Zone. I hope you will join us, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Today we're going to pick it up where we left off yesterday about the fake moon landing. And boy, have I got something for you to see in here. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I hope you will join us at digperspectives.com. Just click the Freedom Zone right here and come on in. All right.